Stillness functions as authority because movement signals adjustment and adjustment signals response to pressure. In real interactions, the person who moves less forces others to fill the space. This shifts the effort of the exchange onto the other side. In practice, this means you stop nodding, stop fidgeting, and stop reacting while someone is talking. The absence of visible reaction increases their uncertainty about your position. That uncertainty makes them explain more, soften demands, or reveal priorities. This shows up when someone delivers a statement and then goes physically still while maintaining eye contact. The interaction slows and control quietly changes hands. Stillness also works because the brain reads it as certainty. When someone believes they are right, they do not rush to adjust. In conversations, hesitation and micro-movement are interpreted as internal doubt. In practice, this means you respond to statements with a brief pause before speaking without changing posture. That pause forces the other person to reassess their own confidence. They often add qualifiers, corrections, or extra justification. This shows up when someone makes a claim and then waits calmly instead of defending it. The other side starts negotiating against themselves. Stillness increases pressure because it removes emotional feedback. Most people regulate what they say by reading reactions in real time. When those reactions disappear, discomfort rises. In practice, this means keeping your face neutral when someone is testing a boundary or pushing a point. Without feedback, they cannot tell if they are succeeding. This often leads them to overextend, repeat themselves, or escalate unnecessarily. This shows up when someone keeps talking after their point has already landed. The pressure they feel is self-generated, not applied by you. Stillness also controls pace, and pace controls power in any exchange. The person who sets the speed determines who feels rushed. Fast movement and quick replies signal urgency and lower leverage. In practice, this means you slow your physical actions before you slow your words. You sit back, you move deliberately, and you let silence stretch slightly longer than feels polite. This forces the other person to match your tempo or feel exposed. This shows up when someone starts filling the silence with concessions or unnecessary detail. The slower frame becomes the dominant frame. Stillness also blocks manipulation because it disrupts rhythm. Many influence tactics rely on momentum, quick questions, and stacked statements. When you stop moving, the rhythm collapses. In practice, this means you do not answer immediately after a persuasive push or emotional appeal. You remain physically still and let the moment hang. This breaks the sequence they are trying to run. This shows up when someone expects agreement and instead meets silence and no change in posture. Their tactic loses force without you resisting it directly. Stillness signals that you are not seeking approval. Approval seeking always shows up as adjustment, smiling, or quick alignment. When those signals are absent, the other person recalibrates their approach. In practice, this means you keep your posture unchanged after disagreement instead of softening it. You let the disagreement exist without repairing it. This creates the impression that agreement is optional for you. This shows up when someone backs off pressure and starts persuading instead of demanding. The power shift happens without a word being added. Stillness also exposes who is emotionally invested. The person who cannot stay still is the person who needs the outcome more. Anxiety leaks through movement before words. In practice, this means you watch who adjusts posture, changes tone, or fills gaps when nothing is happening. You stay still while they reveal urgency through motion. This gives you information about leverage without asking questions. This shows up when someone suddenly starts justifying their position after silence. Their need becomes visible through their body. Stillness can be used to anchor decisions before they shift. Once a statement is made, movement invites renegotiation. Remaining still after you speak signals finality. In practice, this means you deliver a position and do not adjust your body tone or expression afterward. That lack of adjustment tells the other person there is no opening. This often stops counteroffers from forming. This shows up when someone pauses, scans your face for flexibility, and finds none. The The decision hardens because your body confirms it. Stillness also creates asymmetry in attention. When you are still, you can observe while the other person performs. Attention flows toward movement, not silence. In practice, this means you let the other person speak while you remain physically quiet and observant. You gather information without signaling what you think. This keeps your position concealed while theirs becomes clearer. This shows up when someone reveals strategy, limits, or concerns simply because no reaction stops them. You gain leverage by seeing more than you show. Stillness ultimately works because it removes the illusion of mutual effort. Most interactions rely on both sides constantly signaling, adjusting, and validating progress. When one side stops participating in that exchange, the structure destabilizes. In practice, this means you stay still at the exact moment resolution is expected. You do not confirm understanding, agreement, or next steps. This forces the other person to confront the imbalance directly. This shows up when they hesitate, restart the conversation, or attempt to regain alignment. The interaction does not move forward, but it does not end either.